It's your boy Bleeves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 It's been a long day, I mean a long week, maybe a long year, so let's get something clear. We're gonna stock up on some party favors later on. Tell everybody they're invited, you should come along. Best to bring your good foot, ladies gonna be dancing on the ceiling. Cocky and appealing, possibly revealing. Getting sideways like a bridesmaid as she vibrate. If you a lightweight, hope you hydrate. We gon' tip the bottles back, busting out the fat sacks. People wearing costumes, chewing on a mushroom. Something like a wonderland, understand? Going down the rabbit hole with my kinfolk to another land. Damn, I said we do it like this. Magic carpet riders on some third eye shit. Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it. I can't wait till Friday. Everybody's getting sideways. Pass the bottle back my way. Everybody's getting sideways.
What is going on, everybody? New intro. Who dis? My name is Bleeves. This is Bedtime with Bleeves. We're here to talk about what happened in the market today, what's going to happen tomorrow, and what the whole ecosystem is starting to look like. And still got the new headset that we're playing around with. I hope this thing works pretty well. But we are going to lead off as quickly as we can by getting into the pre-markets and noting that the pre-markets are just basically a mixed bag of just slightly down, but not too much that it causes any sort of problems and or grief. I don't think that we're affected too much by that, so I'll put a pin in that for tomorrow. You can see the market has turned red. We are now looking at a little bit of a different environment. The 1 hour, the 24 hour, they're all starting to buckle just a little bit. I don't think that that means anything bad for the long term. I don't think that we've got very much further to go in the market before we start to see some more downside, or at least a correction, but we're going to keep an eye on it. As you can see here, we've gone from trying multiple times to get over 960 million, really around 955, but let's call it 955 billion, I guess. And now we've dipped back down to 940, but we did have an hour ago 933. And you can see the reversal in the market that was really starting, and that was creating a little bit of a bad sentiment, I think, for everybody. So let's get into chat real quick. David, good evening. I really like to see it go to 28,000, but we're starting to wane. It's going to take a catalyst, and I think tomorrow we do have a catalyst. We're actually going to be looking at a conversation about that, or at least an article where the Chinese market is what we're looking for to get a little pump. The Chinese market is about to release its 2022 audit or report, or whatever they call it over there, financial detail for last year, financial report, blah, blah. So that's going to give our market at least an inkling of an idea of what happens next. And that's going to be interesting, to say the least. What is up, Beaver Lumber? Jeffrey Croteau, what is going on? Juice in the house, what's going on? Shaka Crypto, what is going on? Kevin Beth, what's happening? Justin W in the house, what is going on. Living the dream, man. Just trying to figure out this crypto market, trying to make sure that everybody who's following me is staying safe and not getting wrecked. What is going on, CEO 100? BRL is in the house. And I hope, by the way, that everybody who's in BRL saw the little shout out that they got in the intro today. If you didn't, then you probably need to check out some of the intros that have been coming out. I just changed up my intro. I did change up the outro as well, but the intro includes a little shout out to Modi, when 1337. If you look real closely, I assure you don't have to look real closely. If anybody missed it, catch the replay because we are shouting it out to Modi, my man, when 1337. So, that being said, let's move on a little bit here. And what is going on, Trail Boss? So the market really is kind of a mixed bag here. So here's the real sort of deal here. This we're going to change this to a day, and then we're going to zoom out just a little bit, and we're going to, I know we got a lot of crosses, we got a lot of different lines over here, but we're going to turn on our VRVP, and we are going to change this visibility. We're going to call it 144, and then we're going to change that. So now we're getting a better look at where we are and what's going on. And now we're going to zoom back in because we've got a little bit of a clearer look at where the market is right now. And I want to point out that when we're looking at this, we're this high right here, 970 basically, that leads to this opening right here where we have a lot of room for entry back into the market with some resistance levels right here. Now, I'm not looking over here at the left, even though you can see the resistance that's obvious right there. But we're looking at this volume profile over here. Same thing if you look at Ethereum, same thing if you look at Bitcoin. They're going to kind of tell you the story. Now, when we zoom in on Bitcoin, because let's face it, that's the one that matters, right? So we're gonna take a look at Bitcoin here. We're gonna kind of move this around just a little bit. We're going to look at, so here's where we are. This is the move that we've made. This is where we're hoping that we're going to find, excuse me. This is where we're hoping we're going to find a little bit of relief and a little bit of support. You can see right here, this is the lowest spot right now in terms of support. So the most likely scenario is this right here playing out. So this is your downside move. The downside move takes us to 20,100. Then you've got a little bit of an inkling in there, and then you've got this right here. Then you've got 19,145 still holding it up. And of course, you can see right here that 19,145 goes across here, and that really is a long-term level of support from this market for the last couple of months. However, if we break through that, then you're looking at this this is I'm not going to call it a golden pocket. It's going to be basically a coal pocket, but that's what it represents. It's a pocket right there with very little support, which means that even though we've got this token little pop right here, and we've got this bounce that we've done here at 18,250 a couple of times, let's call it 18,400 roughly, then when you take that out of the equation, then the only thing you have left is maybe some support right here. 17.5, 17.3. Then it starts to get a little bit nervous because now you're looking at like 16,640. And that's just looking at this little area right here. So concerns abound. Now, the other part is you can look, and we're looking up, and you see this right here. Like if we can just get a little positive momentum, then what we should see is we should see a move up into here because there's no resistance at any point. And I'm probably a little bit off because you can see that something forms right about here, right? So there's going to be a little pocket of resistance there. So let's just kind of follow the trend here. And we say if we pop up, we'll probably hit this, bounce back down, maybe test here, come back down, test again, come back down, big test right here with a rejection. And if that all plays out, and that were all play out the right way, then we go right into that golden pocket, which takes us up to 27.5 roughly. So the question is, can we? Is it even possible to get there? And the fundamentals right now do not hold up on that. If you go back and we look at coin market cap, 983 billion is the market cap. We haven't been able to hold 1 trillion, but even so, we had 17 billion into the market right now. We still only have $53 billion in trading volume. Now, part of that could be maybe attributed to the American audience not being at work today. No trading going on. Perhaps we're looking at a lower volume, and tomorrow we're going to see institution kind of pump in and see what's going on. Maybe they will. So we'll see. And there's a request over here to see the intro video again. So I'm going to bore you with some details. We're going to play it one more time, but we're going to stop when we get to the part for Modi.
It's your boy Bleeve. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
Did you see it? Did you catch that one? Did you catch that one? Somebody let Modi know that he got a little shout out in Bleeve's intro video. It's going to be, everybody's going to see that for the next bunch of days. So yeah, let's see what happens here. Kira Girl, what is going on? Hope you're having a vaulted evening. Dynastic Wolf, what is going on? Chris White, what is happening? BRL, still out here happening. And Glenn Allen in the house. BRL is coming in. Combo Cabbage now sees 1337. We are going at it. Where's Modi? Let's bring him in here. Let's put him up here and let him explain what's going on here. Why are we not at 1337? Matty B in the house. What is going on, my man? Anyway, back to the matter at hand. That this is the way this kind of looks here, right? The same thing really applies here to Ethereum, and you can see here that there's just this open-ended sort of area right here where let's not do that. Let's get an actual move. So you can see here that the volume profile really kind of puts us down in this area. So if this does not hold, then we've got a long way going back down to around the 1330s, I think it was. Yeah, 1330, around 1337, 1330. That's the cascade down from Ethereum because there is absolutely no support. Your biggest level of support that maintains where we are right now, as you can see right here, is about 1512. I want to say 1515, we'll call it right there. 1514, 29. So that's where the only kind of level of support is. Now you can see it's been hit a few times, so it does kind of set itself up. You can see right here that we kind of did it right here. We kind of did it right here, right here. So there is some history at this level. It's entirely possible that Ethereum's going to hold itself just fine right here for a little bit if there's no more accumulation. Now, that being said, we still have Shanghai coming within the next, hopefully about 60 days. We've got that Shanghai update coming, so it's very possible that we see this, that we see Ethereum continue to kind of idle sideways, and we might see a dip in Bitcoin, but we don't see a dip in Ethereum for that reason. Bitcoin doesn't have the same sort of catalyst. I mean, everything basically at this point is a catalyst with Bitcoin, one way to the positive or to the negative. But Ethereum has that Shanghai upgrade, so maybe we'll see. And by the way, if you're looking for any kind of big changes in the Shanghai upgrade, you're not going to get anything. The Shanghai upgrade is merely unlocking some of the staked ether that people have been sitting on since I think 2020. and have not been able to sell. Now, those people, they got in around the 700. I think we talked about this before, between 600 and 800. So they're all in profit. They're all up 100%. So not a huge amount, by the way, not some kind of life altering number, unless unless you had 10, 20 million that you have in there, then maybe you can use that and say that is. But realistically, there's not a huge I don't think there's going to be a huge pump. So when we see that there are people who are wanting to sell off of it, I'm not sure that we're going to see as much sell off as what we might otherwise think, just because these people may not, they may think it's worth it, some of them anyway, to hold on to this for a much longer term and see where the quote unquote wind blows. But as you can see right here, as I zoom out just a little bit, you can kind of see how much resistance we have in this little area. And then there's other resistance right here at about 1700, which again, we're just looking at this volume profile over here, and we're seeing it kind of pop up in those spots. Then you've got another one that kind of hits itself at around 1900, starts at around 1880. Otherwise, you got this little open area, and then you got another little open area up here. But if we zoom out from that and kind of, get some more context and, let these charts kind of quote unquote air out, you'll see that there is a lot of resistance along this way in this area. So we don't see a huge amount right now, but there's still a lot going on in that background. So hopefully we'll see something good happen. Ted, what is going on, my man? Thank you for tuning in. Glad to have you here. Vaulted in 2023. Wouldn't it be nice to see Volt take over a, what are we, 50 million market cap right now? Wouldn't it be nice to see Volt get on a vaulted run and get itself into the top 100? Top 100 would be about a 10x from where it is right now. I don't think that anybody's gonna, it's gonna be life-changing money for a lot of people, but it'll still be a good run for Volt. And I think the important thing there was, more probably, I think we need to see a run from Volt getting into about $1 billion market cap, which would be about a 20x from where it is right now, just to kind of validate all of the work, all the effort, all the everything that these guys have been putting in. We're going to see it, of course, in a bull market, but it would be nice to see it develop early in the bear market as it starts to convert over, and as we start to see the inflow of capital coming in. Really would represent some validation for some of the work, some of the effort, some of the positivity that they've been using. We're at a spot right now, just so you guys who are paying attention can kind of look at, in the Volt environment. Volt is now, it has gone from what it was, which was really a meme coin with a meme token with a game that allowed you to create a utility, allows you to win some money and burn some tokens, stuff like that. Very minimal use case to VoltiChange. And VoltiChange has become a service provider for other cryptos. And if you are a developer and you put VoltiChange on your website, then Volt will help promote you. And that's a pretty cool opportunity, because the Volt Army has been and continues to be one of the best communities that there is out there. And of course, those guys would also become kind of angel investors to try to help your project move. And that being said, it's a very good and a very cool sort of opportunity for a lot of tokens who are otherwise not getting a whole lot of exposure. And that's just going to continue building. There's a competition that Volt's having right now, and that competition is between Saitama, Floki, Sheeb, and Cult DAO, with the winner getting 10,000 in Volt to distribute amongst their people however they want. But that's a pretty big move. I mean, that's a bold step in that direction. Now, of course, if you're one of those tokens and you have like Cyta Pro, or if you have Shiba Swap, then you're probably looking at it and you're like, why are they doing that? So you're not going to satisfy everybody, but you could satisfy enough people to get a little curiosity and a little more positivity moving in the direction of voltage change. So, that ecosystem just continues to kind of develop. I think the next thing that they really need, if you want a catalyst at this point, you need another big tier one exchange to take on Volt. Then you need to give an announcement on what Volt is soft or something like that. There's and I'm sure they're working on it, by the way. I'm sure that there's a process by which this is all going to happen, and we'll see it. We'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. So it's coming, and we're going to be part of it, but it's just going to take a little time. So, Secret Truth, what is going on? Hunter in the house, what is happening, my man? Anthony Tholen, good evening, believes from Suriname. I appreciate you, man. Buck defense makes Dak Prescott look like Joe Montana. Trust me, that's be the last time anybody compares Dak Prescott to Joe Montana. Do you think Bitcoin is going to go 20,000? Not in this run. I feel like it could. I really think that the opportunity presents itself for Bitcoin to get on that run. But again, you have to take into consideration the volatility and the strength, right? And it looks like right here that there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance to Bitcoin making that kind of move. Now, if you could get, let's just for instance, you would need probably $1.2 trillion coming back into the market to get to this level. So we need about 300 billion more dollars to get there. Doesn't mean that we can't do it. Just means we have to recognize what it would take in order to get there. And by the way, this is probably just right there instead. It's entirely possible that it happens. It's just not probable right now. And the longer we sit right here where we are, here's the thing to understand. Crypto moves in one direction or it moves in another direction. It doesn't really stay idle for too long. Now we're looking at this and we're looking at this on a daily chart, and we can look at it and we can say, well, yeah, but that's not exactly, what's happening here, right? Well, if we zoom back in and we look at it on the hourly basis and we start to scroll backwards, then look at all of this consolidation and just look at the level of, and we had a spike right here, but generally speaking, this is a long consolidation. Now take that into consideration and then move back over here, and this was a long consolidation. Each of these ending in some sort of downward pressure and downward spike. And remember, this consolidation here was all the way back to that local bottom that we thought might have been the bottom. And this takes us right here to June. And this is where Elon Musk sold off. And then we have the month before that. This is where, that's not where, it's a little bit further down here. But there was more consolidation in, there we go, in March. When we started to see this massive sell-off right here. This is Luna Classic doing the sell-off. But again, just massive levels of consolidation at every given opportunity. So we've traded sideways, and this market wants to go up, wants to go down, wants to go up, wants to go down. It looks like it's trending upward. If you were to start, like if you're objectively kind of looking at what is the trend here, well, it looks like it's creating a top right here, and it looks like it's creating the, God damn it, this right here. It looks like it's ready for that breakup, but I'm taking this as the low, and I'm taking where it actually settled, and then I'm taking, let me get over here where it actually settled again. And I'm kind of having my way with the way that it looks. I'm not nailing this entirely, because once you start to do that, it starts to break down. But if you look at it simply, then you're getting a perfect breakout, right? But at the end of this, there still has to be capital. And, you've created just the perfect, I mean, the picture perfect bull pennant. This is exactly what you want to see for a breakout right here. You want to see this happen. Then you want to see like one more test right here at 21.4. You see this right here, and then bang, here we go. So it's playing out the way that you want to see it right now, but I'm just not sure that we have the strength to get there. We might, and we might see it. It's going to depend on what the markets do over the next couple of days, and we are over this 200 EMA. So we're in a position where good things are definitely possible. So we would certainly like to see something like that break out. And we do have a confirmed bearish divergence on the 1 hour right here, which means that we're looking at more downside. We look at the 2 hour, and we've got multiple bearish divergences right here with the most recent. Now we had one here, we had one here. It looked like we were forming one here, and they broke to the upside. So they did not play out the way they should have, because we also had these divergences up here that were bullish. However, when you just kind of look at it, this is not. This is over. Look how long we've been over on the money. So the money, these inflows coming in are driving this price up. But those outflows, they're going to start. Like we've only seen a little bit right here, and a little bit right here, and a little bit right here. But at some point, it's got to start. You look at the 4 hour, and we've got no confirmation there. The 1 day, we've got no confirmation right there. But I mean, obviously, when you look at this, like, you got to be concerned. We're overbought by a huge amount right now, and anytime that's happening, then the next move is going to be to this downside, which means that there has to be a correction coming. So that's what it looks like. You look at it on the weekly. On the weekly, we're still underbought. So you may be able to make a justification on the weekly that we're underbought, and on the monthly that we are way down here. This is a big, big, big opportunity to make a huge move. And you can see right here, the last time we got down into this position, over a longer period of time, we had some correction, but we did have that gigantic move, with that gigantic move being from 19,000 all the way up to 68,000. So, there's plenty of things that are happening right now that give us the incentive to believe that we are in a good position. So, and you can see that the RSI might be moving back over the EMA. So, maybe we're going to keep running. It looks like it looks like we're about to start again. And if these things cross over one more time, that puts us in an upward pattern, and we'll see how that goes and see how far that will run. But again, at this point, we're just kind of guessing, trying to figure it all out. I'm thinking minimum 5 billion for Volt in the next bull run. Hopefully 50 billion. I just don't think that 50 billion falls in, if you guys remember when we were making our estimations for what would happen in 2022, if you watched that video, you would have seen how uncomfortable I was making those gigantic predictions, just because 50 billion is a long way. And 5 billion is not nearly as long a way, much more reasonable. And as Volt builds use cases, then that might come. But that pie in the sky, everything all works perfectly together sort of SHIB or Dogecoin sort of thing, that's lightning in a bottle. And it's already happened twice. Is it going to happen a third time? Well, if it does happen a third time, who else but Volt? I mean, when you think about it, who else but Volt? But can it happen that third time? Maybe is, excuse me, sorry about that. Maybe is the best that I can say there. But that doesn't mean that Volt can't get to 5 billion or 10 billion. Just 50 billion is a long way. Like, that really is like a super, super long way. And that really needs, like, I mean, you have to consider the circumstances by which SHIB got right near 50 billion. In the economy, everybody was sidelined. Everybody had plenty of money. They were sitting at home and getting paid to stay home. Nobody was spending money. The market, things were just different. You didn't have life was different a couple years ago. Getting getting a meme to 50 billion again, that's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very, very tough. But you know what? Here's the thing: if anybody can do it, it's gonna be Voltoshi. So that's the one thing that I'm pretty sure of right now. Anyone on here think that Lunk will delete a zero soon? I don't get Lunk deleting a zero very soon, just because of the mathematics behind it. But I do think that in the in the longer term, what we need to, first of all, there has to be a catalyst to drive that price up, and there's no catalyst right now to drive that price up, which I'm hoping for, but I just don't see it yet. So once I see it, and once we have something in place, then we can talk about it. But we'll get there. Markets probably open up in the red and then switch to green. Floki about to drop that game. So, all right. So Valhalla game is coming pretty soon. Starl has already dropped their game, and WAGMI, I don't know when WAGMI is going to drop. Like it's going to be pretty soon, but we haven't seen it yet. So let's move on and kind of get into a little bit more here. So this is where all of this stuff is, and we'll kind of leave that and put a pin in it. You can see right now the market is just kind of struggling. The Korean index is down quite a bit for the day, and you can see that the crypto market has flipped to pretty bearish all of a sudden. Hex is down 7% after Hex went down a few more percent earlier. Crypto.com down 1.5 already on the day, and yeah, as you go down this list, you're starting to see cracks in the matrix, so to speak. So let's go look at Bitcoin. How much capital inflows has Bitcoin witnessed in 2023? So the fear and greed index is now up to 45. So we're almost at that level of neutral. So we're looking here at on January 8th, Bitcoin's market cap stood at 326 billion. So January 8th, we were 326 billion. Today it's 405. So you're talking about an $80 billion increase in Bitcoin over a pretty short period of time. So should be happy with that. But the bears are going to come back in here, and they're going to want a piece of that money. So we'll see how this thing plays out. Here is something that's just absolutely out of its mind. And there's two things that happened here. Three Arrows Capital founders. Now, this is Su Zhu. This is the guy, Su Zhu, that disappeared. And if you remember, Kyle Davies, which is this guy over here, and Su Zhu, this guy right here, they both disappeared right after they filed bankruptcy on Three Arrows. Okay. And then they showed up in bankruptcy court like 2 months later, as at that point they were basically fugitives from justice, and they just acted like nothing was wrong. And people found money and stuff like that. They didn't go to jail, but now they've decided they're going to open up an exchange, and they're calling it, they want to call it GTX. So FTX fails. So we move on to GTX. What's next? HTX and ITX. Like, are we just going through the alphabet of failed exchanges to launch? And this is the Three Arrows Capital guys that flamed out spectacularly because they were over leveraged, because they didn't know how they were going to look. They were just as bad. They were just as bad as anybody who was over leveraged through Terra Luna before it became Luna Classic. I don't want to call them the new. I don't want to call them Sam Bankman-Fried level, but they knew what they were doing. They over leveraged their position. They got wrecked. They bankrupted a whole bunch of different people, and then they blamed it on Terra Luna. And it's fair to say that you can blame it on FTX, you can blame it on Citadel and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you can blame all that on them. But if you're still one for one and you're not stealing money from your investors or doing anything inappropriate with your money and using it to try to leverage it for more money, then you're not in this situation, right? So remember, they're still bad guys in all this. But anyway, so they get clowned on Twitter for GTX, and then CoinFlex steps in and says the new exchange with 3AC founders won't use GTX name after Twitter ridicule. So they end up getting clowned all day long, so bad. A pitch deck obtained by the block has dubbed the new exchange GTX because G comes after F. Oh my God. Nick Carter, a founding partner at Capital Island Ventures, says the arsonists are returning to the scene of the crime, hawking buckets of water to their victims. Like it's just absolutely crazy. So it looks like they're trying to open up their exchange. I can't believe that, but that's what they're doing. Now, this article, by the way, doesn't make any sense, but we're going to look at it anyway. The question it's asking is, will Bitcoin keep pumping? And this is, I think, computer generated because after the December 22 CPI was launched, final Thursday at 6.5%, the crypto market turned strongly bullish. Bitcoin rallied greater than 18% after the publication and stopped simply in need of the 21,450 degree. All right, so this is again computer generated article here. It makes no sense whatsoever, but there are important things here. What Marco events will information Bitcoin this week? China will announce the financial information for 2022. Financial Institution of Japan, BOJ, rate of interest choice may solely develop into the related if there's a shock-like final time. What they're saying is they will talk about their new, whether or not they're going to have an increase on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the Bank of Japan is going to give us a little insight into how they're feeling. The expectation is the interest rates going from 0.25 to 0.5. So if that happens, then we can kiss Japan goodbye from the market for a little while, and they'll start dumping. China, when we get the information on China, if the information is bad, then we'll expect the Chinese to start dumping and the Americans to start dumping and most of the world to start dumping a little bit. So we're on a precarious balance right here. And then the DXY, we should come back and always look at the DXY. And what is the DXY doing? It pumped, which is why crypto has not moved. And now it's on its way back down. So maybe we'll start to see a little pump out of crypto. But always pay attention to the DXY and always make sure that you know what's going on there because it really matters a lot. Next, U.S. lawmakers create Congress' first ever digital asset subcommittee. And this is gigantic because this is where information will start coming out about the laws that we're looking to lay down. This is the regulation that is coming to cryptocurrency. Now we've got a subcommittee whose job it is to start looking at this and figuring out what's what, get the lay of the land, and start to come up with an idea on governance in the United States. And once we have clarity, look, if we had clarity tomorrow, we'd be at a $1.3 trillion market cap. If we had clarity tomorrow, money would enter this market like we've never seen before or like we've rarely seen before. Not because people want regulation, but because institution wants regulation. Institution wants regulation because it simplifies what they can and cannot not do, but get away with. Because they are those seedy people. They always have been. They always will be. And that's what we're looking for right now is maybe this digital asset subcommittee creates some legislation and we can start to pump. So you're seeing now a reversal here. We're starting to get some green back into the market on the hour chart, not on the daily yet. So we'll keep looking at that. But I was not logged in here. This is why I lost everything. So we're just going to do a quick rundown right here. Hulk continues to pump. Saitama continues to pump. Saitama was up over 17, however, earlier today. So Saitama had a run all the way up to 1731. Very big and very nice correction for them. RBF was up about 20%, 25% at one point, back up to 2504, just a couple hours, just a few short hours ago. Then it corrected all the way back down. I'm not sure. I don't pay enough attention here. Whether it's we're gonna look here 0294 and FBCA. Let's go look at these and see if it's okay. So this is 1 buy and 6 buys and 1 sell. No. Then this one is 1 buy and 1 sell. So this person bought in for 1 ETH, sold for 2.280. So there's people taking profit, nothing major. But we did see 40DD, by the way. This 40DD put like 15 ETH into this project today. 40DD also did a half right there. You can see it's their 9th buy. They bought 15 ETH worth so far. Decanect up 3% to 5,026. Continuing to move, it continues to make moves, small moves, but moves nonetheless. And generally speaking, this is going to end with 2 exchanges being listed. And I mean, listen, if you have something that's 300,000 market cap that's about to get on its first exchanges, I want you guys to just understand here what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that it's going to go higher than its all-time high, but the all-time high was 18 cents. So it's at least 3x from its all-time high. If it goes to its all-time high again or better, then that is basically, it's a 3 or 4x is what you get off of Decanect on this one. I remain bullish on it, and I really would like to see a nice little run happen again, get some money back into the project and continue building this educational platform. It's not on pause, but there is some work being done on version 2. And the reason that you haven't seen too much activity from me or anybody else is because version 2 is being worked on. And, once it happens, I think you guys are going to be impressed with what happens when we get to that point. Like I'm super excited. I've played it a little bit. So I really like what Decanect is doing. But Terra is just like you can't get a pump on it yet. It'll pump. We are going to get something, but we just haven't seen it yet. We're consolidating just like the rest of the market. Lillian 6301, again, just sideways action. A lot of people still feel burned, so it's fair to say that Lillian is going to have to do a little bit more to win back the hearts and minds, so to speak. They've trended sideways since the announcement that their listing is now quote unquote on hold, and we await something positive. So we'll see. Version 2, I'm told, is on the way. So we'll see what happens with version 2. Excuse me. MMAI at least back over their launch price. So it didn't really matter because they did such a great job of liquidity that even at this low number, remember I put 500 into the pre-sale, and my 500 is now 0.57 ETH, which makes it about $800. So super happy. I'm up 60% on it. Let's get at 3.62 million market cap, or 3.82. Let's get this to 100 million, 30 exit, and we're all going to be feeling super good about it. But remember, there is a video game, the Metaverse game. Kind of looks like GTA, to give you just an idea of what it looks like. Third person. And the Pure Wallet, which is basically the way I read the Pure Wallet is that it works like basically like a hot wallet and a cold storage wallet at the same time. And all you have to do is flip one back and forth. And all you have to do is be holding some MMAI in order to use that wallet. So that's going to lead to adoption and continued adoption. So it's a great opportunity. Volt 9349. You can see right here, just kind of back on that. It made this move, consolidated, made this move, consolidating. It's doing the same thing right here. I expect that we're going to see something, and then we're going to see a move up here to 1170, which is the next spot that I have for Volt. I kind of think that that's the next spot where they go. and then from there, hopefully we take off. Hopefully get some good announcements and see something positive. WAGMI games again. If nothing's happening, nothing's happening. So um, they're going to need to. We're going to need to see a launch. You know, I mean that's basically it. We're going to need to see a launch for people to get excited about WAGMI games again. Yeah. By the way, I did play the WAGMI games beta. So when I say that, like I sound like I'm giving you like a bearish sort of, it's got to do something. But this thing is look, WAGMI is a fun game. So I'm bored with waiting because it was supposed to be launched back in August. So we're 6 months past due on the launch time, but it wouldn't have mattered in a bear market. This is, like it is better to do it in the bull market. I don't want to underscore how important that is, but by the same token, we've been talking about it's coming for a long time, and hopefully we'll get that delivery finally. And BRL is starting to come down just a little bit. That bearish sort of sentiment is starting to take over. This is what I was talking about before when I said that bearish sentiment kind of takes over, and after a while, people just get a little fed up with holding. So BRL, if BRL is going to do something soon, then it's going to have to do something soon. Now, this is probably a little bit high, of course. This is the actual trend right here, and this is the actual trend right here. That little breakout was a good sign, but it didn't stick. So now we're at the bottom of that trend channel one more time. So now we're going to find out what they're really going to do at this point. So if this does pop out and it does fall, then the next level is 245. So we would be looking at probably downward pressure to right about here. In fact, let me go back. We might look at some downward pressure to about right here, 270. And then from 270, if it maintains, then we'll end up right here at around 248, 249, and then we'll get a bounce back up. So that's the way that it looks. We'll see how it plays out. Still has a bearish flag. It's just taking a little while for this consolidation thing to kind of play its course. So maybe we'll see something positive. SHIB trading at 1044. Again, consolidating to that upside. I think it's safe to say this entire market is just waiting for the next big move. I think everything is just kind of pumping a little bit, waiting to see what will happen next. And so far we haven't seen that breakout, and we have to see that breakout, and that's going to be led. It's going to be led by Bitcoin taking down 21,004 and then bouncing up here and using it as support. If it does that, then the rally continues. But if it does not, then we've got a long way down to start finding our support levels. We're going to see it right here at 20,006. Then we're going to see it down here at 19,009. Then we're going to see right here. We might use the EMA at that point. So probably 19,007. But then if it breaks down there, then we're talking about 19,249. And then all the way down to 18,008. So that's where we are. And that's what it looks like. And all right. So it's not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Will Decanect dump if Bitcoin's? Decanect doesn't have a whole lot of dump to it. It's only got a $300,000 market cap, but it does have some serious quote unquote muscle behind it and 2 exchanges coming. So if I'm a betting man, and by the way, I hold 63,000 Decanect, so I am a big time holder in Decanect, and I haven't sold. So if you remember, excuse me. If you remember, Decanect was about 20 cents at one point, and that was about 14,000. And it didn't even occur to me at that point that I should sell. I was going to hold on, thinking that it might go to about 50 to $1. So I'm still waiting and still holding. And the fact that it has 2 exchanges coming makes me real bullish about what might happen in the near future. So I do think that there's a turnaround imminent, and The one thing that Decanect needs is a real utility, and that's the one thing that's been lacking so far. So this there is a utility coming, and that is Decablock. And as you start to see Decablock, you're going to be like, wow, the Decablock is great. So once you start messing around with Decanect, then you're going to really enjoy it. So, but yeah, pick your tokens, load up on them, just like this right here, Gorillazo, loading up on Volt and XRP, and just lay back and enjoy the ride. Anyway, it's not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. And here comes the brand new outro.
I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good